Ever notice that in the English language we use words to describe other words? For instance, like this word we are looking at right now. It's amazing how we'll use all these different words to detail another word. Um, What's even more interesting is we can just use the original word for its original meaning, what we really mean. But we see they choose to use these different words because these different words and meaning we aren't used to in this language we call English. And as we develop on this lesson today, just like we always do when we dive into these words, we shall be taking a great look, many examples, just to show you exactly what I mean. Hope everyone is doing well. Shabbat Shalom. Real one. We are back with another episode of Magic Ether Buzz. We are in Zephaniah chapter 3, and we will start off on verse 1. Judgment on Jerusalem and the nations. Verse 1. Woe to her that is filthy and polluted, to the oppressing city. She obeyed not the voice she received, not correction. She trusted not in the Lord. She drew not near to her Hawah. Her princes within her roaring lions. Her judges evening wolves. They gnaw not the bones to the marrow. Her prophets are light and treacherous persons. Her priests have polluted the sanctuary. They have done violence to the law. The just Hawah is in the midst thereof. He will not do iniquity every morning. Doth he bring his judgment to light? He faileth not. But the unjust knoweth no shame. I have cut off the nations, their towers are desolate. Towers are desolate. And that should be reminding you now of that Western Shemitic that we dropped. This did not let you guys know that their towers wasn't enough. Their towers wasn't enough because they weren't natural. Anything on, huh? Made their streets waste. None passeth by. Their cities are destroyed. So that there is no man, that there is none inhabitant. I said, surely thou wilt fear me, wilt receive instruction, so their dwelling should not be cut off. Howsoever I punished them, but they rose early and corrupted all their doing. Therefore wait ye upon me, saith Owah, till the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations that I may assemble the kingdoms to pour upon them my indignation. even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. See, when you really tapping into the wave, when you're really walking the walk, Lakah is the way. You see this inner standing, this inner knowing that the one thing Hawa does not play with, put in another power before your power, putting an interference in between your source. There is no other savior as Hawa. Once one goes to put an in between that which is Hawa and that which is non-living, non-breathing, absent of the breath, well, that pain, jealousy that Hawa holds dearly for his very own rises on up. It's just like the water, it starts to boil. And there's nothing more that Hawa cannot stand than which someone who puts interference between them and their source. La Hawa. Continuing on, the conversion, the conversion of the nation. Picking back up in verse 9. Or then I will turn to the people of pure language, that they may all call upon the name of Hawa, to serve him with one consent. From beyond the rivers of Ethiopia, Ethiopian, my suppliants, even the daughter of my dispersed, shall bring mine offering. In that day shalt thou not be ashamed for all thy doings wherein thou transgressed against me. For then I will take away out of the midst of thee them that rejoice in thy pride, and thou shalt no more be haughty because of my holy mountain. I will also leave in the midst of thee an afflicted and poor people, and they shall trust in the name of Yahweh. The remnant of Israel shall do no iniquity, nor speak lies, neither shall a deceitful tongue be found in their mouth. For they shall feed and lie down, and none shall make them afraid. Israel's joyous restoration. Continuing on, verse 14. Sing, O daughter of Zion, shout, O Israel. Be glad and rejoice with all the heart, O daughter of Jerusalem. Like I've said, since we jump back in this ether, this has been for the Aqua, because the Aqua's got a lot to do with this reign of Hawaii, establishing of the kingdom. For you must remember what we refer to as the earth, as well as these cosmos, always been, as the Lord hath taken away thy judgments. He cast out thine enemy, the king of Israel, even the Lord. is in the midst of thee, thou shalt not see evil anymore. In that day it shall be said to Jerusalem, fear thou not, and to Zion let not thine hands be slack. For the Lord thy Hawah in the midst of thee is mighty. He will save, he will rejoice over thee with joy. He will rest in his love, and he will joy over thee with singing. I will gather them that are sorrowful for the solemn assembly who are of thee, to whom the reproach of it was a burden. Behold, at that time I will undo all that afflict thee, and I will save her that halted, and gather her that was driven out. And I will give them praise and fame in every land where they have been put to shame. See, this is Hawah's promise. Everyone surfing the wave on this magic ether bus. Well, I've been telling you everything, huh? A lot of us see fame as something poisonous, as something treacherous, something parasitic. Yes, the enemy, the adversary, flipped the script on what we now see to be as fame in these latter days. But once again, when we're speaking on originality, when we're talking about the source, the primal vibration, well, fame has always been Shem. See what's going on? Strong coordinates HAO34. Shem, which is the fame. This fame of ours as the descendants of Shem. Well, this fame was always natural. It was always original for those by law. And in every land where these original ones were put to shame, Allah will give us praise and fame in each and every one of those lands. Allahu Akbar. Verse 20. At that time will I bring you again, even in the time that I gather you, for I will make you a name and a praise among all people of the earth when I turn back your captivity before your eyes, saith the Lord. I'm sharing with you, Shabbatah, gifts of gold and diamond. Never be treasured and replaced by such minerals. For this is the joy and the source of my inspiration. Every song that I write, for every praise that my lips speak and utter into existence. These are my gifts of gold that keep me in line and in alignment with Hawah's promise. Yes. As a servant of Hawah, it is my duty to share this inspiration about time. For as long as you are keeping the code KTC, MHOE, you know that we are natural law. We shall continue. See, a lot of niggas is still under these curses, man. A lot of niggas still under these curses. And they can't even tell because it's attached to their religious programming. One might ask, man, natural, What kind of curses? Well, you let them tell it. They'll tell you how they're a magnet to pain, huh? How this pain is forever attached to them. Some might say it's generational. That this pain exists throughout the bloodline. From generation to generation, this pain is passed on. But when you really surfing the wave and you know it's halakha, which is the way, and you're right here on the Magic Ether bus with us, natural by law, well, we give our pain all the way up. We give it all the way up to HWH. And we let go. Because you can see that this pain is a punishment. A legal punishment of any sort. Especially when it comes to fines and monetary penalties. And your lack of these monetary gains causes you pain. It is also a condition one feels when hurt, the opposite of pleasure. And when we started surfing a wave on the telepathic series, well, I brought to your attention, to your observation, that I was seeking for this pleasure. And that seeking this pleasure was instrumental for me to manifest that which I set my intentions on. So we give this pain to HWH, and we let HWH deal with our pain. It includes mental or emotional suffering, grief, distress, difficulty, woe, suffering, punishment. Woe is me. For all this pain that I am feeling, all this pain that one is going through. And I had to ask in such a situation, well, where is your HWH? For if HWH is your power before any power, why are they still magnets for pain if you're surfing a wave? Well, I just so happen to be surfing the wave in that water for real. And I came across the answer to this very question. So let's get into it. This pain is what gives you pressure. And you're feeling this pressure from this pain. Because pressure is the suffering, the anguish, act or fact of pressing on the mind or heart. Oppression, torture, anguish, press. You know how someone presses you? And when you know someone is pressing you, that feeling you get when being pressed, this is not a comfortable feeling. It's not something to enjoy, I know how it feels to be pressed. You know where I'm from. City of Los Scandalous, man. I'm used to the scandalous activity. And with that comes pressing of all kinds. Hey, where you from? What set you from? What's up? You know what I'm saying? Getting pressed. And every time I get pressed, it's never a great feeling. And this pain is attached to such pressure as an instrument of torture. an action of pressing, to press, hold fast, to cover, to crowd, to compress. The literal meaning of act or fact of pressing in a physical sense is attested in English from the early 15th century. The meaning moral or mental coercing force, exertion of authority or influence. The meaning urgency, demand of one's time or energies. Your pain has you under pressure, for there is an urgent demand of your time and energy. Some might call this pressure gravity. This is on the wake, huh? So this pressure is felt when one is attached to one's pain. And this pressure is related to another term. This pain is related to another term. And we about to get into it. Shalom. See, this pressure is stemming from this one term. And this one term is smart. See, we got a lot of niggas out here feeling and thinking that they are smart, huh? So let's break this word down, because it seems that this language of English is a hide and seek type of language. See, they hide the drip within the word to leave you seeking the drip elsewhere. But as we see in the etymology, because you guys know we love our etymology, that smart is to cause pain, to suffer pain, to be painful. Smart. How many people are out here swearing they are so smart? Well, for those that do, I used to be one myself, right? Being referred to or being called smart was always a charge. But when one really starts to surf the wave, see, this is the thing about the wave. You gotta really be fearless and submerge yourself in the water to get the drip. Having this fear of the water, of the wave, it'll only leave you with this pain. Because smart is to pain, originally to bite. You see it? To bite. Originally to bite. Huh? To bite. To bite, bite into, to pain, to cause hurt, to rub away, to harm. Being smart is the reason you feel this pressure, this pain, right? It is to be painful, a stinging in reference to hits, blows, causing a sharp pain. To be smart. Of speech or words, which is to be harsh, injurious, unpleasant, pert, impudent, on the pertinent side of witty. And then here we have to be quick, active, intelligent, clever. perhaps from the notion of cutting wit with words, or else keen in bargaining. It is also related to the word sharp. So let's start the wave on sharp. To be sharp is having a cutting edge, pointed, intellectually acute, active, shrewd, keen of senses, severe, biting, bitter of taste, literally cutting, sharp, to cut. So when we're surfing the wave on smart, causing a sharp pain, it is a stinging. And have you ever realized coming up as a young Dracon, being around the elders when you were a grasshopper, a young Padawan, and you said something smart amongst the elders, the adults, and they turn around and called you a smartass? Your words were causing pain. So they say out the mouth of babes. Huh? To be smart, to cause physical pain. And as you see, there's another term that encompasses what smart really is, what smart really means. And so you can see right here the curse we put on ourselves. Because when we're talking about pain, well, it says right here that pain is the agony suffered by Christ. So just to be smart, they attach this hijack frequency onto your intelligence, which causes you to feel pain and pressure. For pressure is the instrument of torture. It is the act or the action of oppression. All these things to keep in mind when we're talking about smart. So if you understand there is no power before your power, and if you understand we don't deal with the interference of a middleman, well, what is this pain? What is this agony that was suffered by Christ? Which is why I said you're still under a curse. You are still attached to this religious doctrine. Where's Hawa for all your pain? This I humbly ask the whole Shabbat surfing the wave as we continue. Another word for smart is intelligence. Huh? So if smart originally means intelligence, why would we need another word to detail or describe this intelligence? Unless one was trying to hide the full meaning of such a word. Here we have intelligence as the highest faculty of the mind, the highest faculty of the mind. Capacity for comprehending general truths. See what's going on? Capacity for comprehending general truths. Faculty of under or understanding, comprehension. Understanding, knowledge, power of discerning, art, skill, taste, discerning, appreciative, to understand, comprehend, come to know. See, I was gifted and awarded this discernment from Hawa, from Abba and Amma, our framer and shaper. And when my detector goes off while discerning, I key in and I pay attention to those synchronicities. And I act accordingly in the alignment of my discernment, which always triggers the hijack. It always triggers a goofy, because a goofy is an actor, and an actor can only copy what it is that they're seeing. And without that visual, if you remove it from them, well, what else can they copy? And this makes a hijack extremely sour. But it's this intelligence that keeps me separate and separated from those who are not. It is the power, the art, the skill, and the taste that develops and factor what it is to be my style. It is to come to know. It is to choose, to pick out, to read, to collect, to gather, to speak, to pick out words. The meaning superior understanding, sagacity, quality of being intelligent. See what's going on? And when we're surfing the wave on such a word, well, when we're gathering intelligence, they refer to that as what? Intel. Okay? Intel being information of military or political value. Intel. You see what's going on? So when they gather intel or intelligence, well, they're collecting what we refer to as data. All this stemming from the intellect, right? Except sense and imagination, to have an active imagination, the capacity for reasoning truth, not just inner or understanding, but reasoning truth, to reason, to have a reasonable mind. Discernment, the understanding, the thought. Now, when you compare this to the pain that is caused by being smart, we're now surfing the wave of two completely separate vibrations. You see what's going on? And this is exactly what I mean when it comes to these words. So when we're talking about intelligence, you see all these different words that go along with it, huh? When we're also talking about intellect, we see that the mind, reason, intellectual, intelligible, you see that? Natural. You see what's going on? Natural. So it is natural to be of this intellect, to be gifted this intellect if you are in alignment with Hawa by law. It is this understanding, this discernment that allows us to surf the wave pain free. And this is what I'm sharing with you, the Shabbatah, as the chosen ones. For you are Hawa's chosen. Halakha. Here we have the term or the word sapient. Sapient meaning to be wise, a sage, discerning. All right. Sensible, shrewd, knowing, discreet, also well acquainted with the true value of things like intel or intellect, like the Greek sophos, specialized use of the present participle of sapir, of things, to taste, have taste, of persons, to have discernment, to be wise. All right, this also has the mind and understanding and insight as a definition. Okay? So we're talking about those of wisdom, those who were created, crafted, designed to discern, to be wise, that which is a sage. Okay? And under this classification, well, it should be reminding you of something. As you can see, we today are classified as so-called Homo sapiens, the genius of human beings, meaning man, homo for man, technically meaning male human, but in logical and scholastic writing, human being. So to be a Homo sapien, when dodging all hijacks, is to be sapient. A sapient, right? To know, to be wise, to be able to discern, to be sensible. Okay? To be sensible, to be discreet, which is set apart. Me not being in alignment with a vibration, not understanding or valuing the things that are true, is not me being mysterious. It is me being discreet and discerning, having the know of when to separate and cut off hijacks right there as they stand. And this is a trigger for those who do not understand. Because we see that the Homo sapien is to be wise. And we also see the takeover in such a term, because they tell you straight up that Homo sapien means man. But the term sapient itself is from Sophos. And we know that Sophos or Sophia is Amar. Now, why is this important? Because in this very term, We understand the hijack for what it is. Now, it is true that the man carries the pollen, not the seed. And we'll touch on this soon. See, word to Five Eyes, my good Tawab Ak, Five Eyes, made mention that seed technically is still an egg, And what we as ox, as men, what we carry is the pollen. We fertilize that so-called seed, that egg. Like the trees, The trees carry pollen, not seeds. Are you surfing the wave? Can we get some waves in the chat one time if you surfing the wave? This led me to think, if this homo is man, and we see how that is used in today's time, right? Not being of this homo vibration, not being of this man vibration. Well, where is Amma in such a term? Where is your mother in such a term? Because although your father did implant that pollen, you needed the matrix, the matrice, all the physical earth embodied in that which is what we refer to as the womb man. Well, you need all of her ingredients, all of her sustenance to be formed. Correct? And it is through the womb man, through the aqua, through your mother, the matter, after you are formed and framed and shaped in the wata, we refer to as the womb, for about 9 months, give or take. Well, one then gets their ushering, their initiation to the physical manifestation of the cosmos. This takes way through your Amma. Because without Amma, well, you see it. You're just a homunculus. A homunculus. So, in this very term, we already are cutting off Amma and the rest of her daughters, the rest of our aquas, to classify an entire race that solely is born and brought forth by only the womb man. So I had to surf a wave and say, I know I was born and birthed from my Amma. How would I represent her in such a term? And all the mothers that came before her, leading down to this line of birthing, of manifesting onto the matrice, the matrix. And I came across Femina Sapiens. Femina Sapiens, which is Latin for the thinking woman. It is a term and concept used to reframe human evolution and history by highlighting the central role of women, challenging the male-centric Homo sapiens narrative. It emphasizes prehistoric women as creators, thinkers, artists, and hunters rather than just passive nurturers. Key interpretations of the term include prehistoric significance. It refers to the idea that women were pioneers in human intelligence, artistic expression, and complex thought, particularly in the Paleolithic era. And this is my kind of wave because we're talking Paleolithic. Paleo, as in that Paleo Hebrew, as in the Paleo Indian of America, the Amaru, huh? And it's through this Femina Sapiens we all are able to touch grass and sand. You see what's going on? It is this thinking woman that presents such a threat to our present day society, which seems to be harnessing its energy and focus and frequency on manifesting everything to be homo. And despite how manly you niggas think you feel, despite how charged as a man you think you feel in this society of modern times, well, that's not a vibe that I'm willing to serve. For it is unnatural for a society to be completely homo. Hell to the no. It seems that all the channels targeting our youth, our innocent ones, our children, our young Dracons. I'm surfing the wave on an Animal Planet. I'm surfing the wave. Cartoon Network. I'm surfing the wave on Disney Channel, and I'm seeing commercials targeting and dealing with the homo community. And I'm trying to figure out, why are these commercials being displayed on regular programming for such channels that are only designated and highlighted for children? It's a very odd thing that's going on. Yes. So we are introducing the Femina Sapiens as we separate from the homo. For we know Adam already has Eve's name within it. Ad being man, AD being man. Shout out to my Tuwab Ak. My good bro AD, Acumen 12. When we're surfing the wave on Adam, AD means man already. Keep playing around with a condo, right? Because the suffix of that word, am, is the first words of the formation of Amma. So in the very name Adam, we already have Adawa'ama, which is man and womb man. As the image of Hawa, I do not need to surf a wave on homo. For I realize, as the image of Hawa, we were already created in this sapient frequency, in this sapient charge, And unlike a Smurf, unlike a homunculus, unlike a Frankenstein, we, natural by Hawa, through the law of divine creation, entered this plane through Amma. Can I get a witness? If you are surfing the wave with us right now, please drop some waves in the chat. Drop some waves in the chat one time for your Aman Abba, Halahuwa. We are charged up and we shall continue. Shabbatah. Max Ahab. See, this ain't no game. It's in your face. To discern is to perceive or recognize the difference or distinction between two or more things. Also distinguish with the eyes. See distinctly, behold. To perceive rationally, to understand. To distinguish between. To separate by sifting. To separate, set apart, divide, distribute, distinguish. All right? So to discern is to separate, my naga. This is a natural frequency. This is a natural vibration. To discern means to separate, to bring division, to be set apart. To be set apart. And it is the power of my discernment that has set me apart. Set me apart from that which I am no longer in alignment with. This is natural. When you're really surfing the wave, these things make themselves evident. It is the way of the sapien. Okay? To be set apart, to be separate, to be chosen. Well, isn't that what an Israelite is? Those who are set apart, those who are separated as HWH's chosen. And no, Israelite does not mean Jew. See, we're going to get this correct first and foremost right here, and we're going to apply pressure when necessary. There is no revoking my freedom of speech, because we're not talking about one particular tribe. This isn't just about Judah. So no, an Israelite is not a Jew. We're going to start applying pressure to these hijacks on all different kinds of levels. From all different avenues. We about to crash hard on these hijacks because an Israelite cannot be a Jew. Simply because we're talking about the ancient peoples or descendants of Jacob. Judah being one of those tribes. One. So no, Israelite cannot be a Jew. In fact, to be a Jew is just to be from Judah. And as we see through our ancestral writings, by the way of Solomon's falling from grace, thus led to the division between the two kingdoms, one forming as the north, the other forming as the south. Even within our very lesson, we are seeing the discernment that led to such separation. So to be a Jew is particularly of the southern tribe. What about the rest? This is what we're talking about. This is what we're talking about. And HWH has chosen to activate and return to his people, to her people. Once again, for our restoration is being set right in front of your eyes. To discern is to be able to see with the eyes distinctly. Okay? Distinctly. Just like dragon, huh? To see. To see. To see. I have seen, to see clearly as the light. Okay? So as a Dracon, we have discernment. And this discernment, well, it leads us to be separate. To separate. To be from the other side. You see what's going on? To be on the other side. You have the side of HWH, and then you have the side of that which is unnatural. And today's lesson was brought forward to recognize such a return happening right before us, because we've been seeing what's going on. We are now witnessing the natural ones make their way to the metaverse. We're starting to see the hybridization of the streets in this metaverse. And I'm telling you right now, Shabbat, this is not what they expected. This is not what they expected. See, everyone thought that you would be able to leave those who are of and from the hood and that darkness. They thought that there was a great shift leaving those who are natural in ignorance. And yes, we have a lot of hijacks still going on. You heard about the MLK parade. You see what's going up. But for us, on the west side, it's an everyday thing. It's regular. It's really regular. Does that make it any better? Hell to the no. But we're going to take a look into the very reason why others and myself do this very thing that we're doing. And that is with the intention to reach those who are asleep, to make aware their true nature by law of HWH to who they really are. And as we caught in the beginning with Zephaniah, HWH's promise is the return of his people to the great glorious name that we were crafted in the image of. For the reversal of all the shame we felt through every land, to now be risen in the fame by HWH's hand. This is the precipice that we are on the brink of right now. And as we surf the wave and choose up Anion, well, It is causing a disruption in this metaverse. See, I caught on a long time ago. Most are just addicts of content. And I told you, I am not an entertainer. And the reason why I fell back is because I started to understand this is just content to most viewers. I don't deal with content. I didn't surf this wave to be a connoisseur of content. Nah. But because we are cons of this Amaru Khan vibe, best believe through the grace of Hawaii, we got that content because we are kinetic. You know what I'm saying? And through this mixture and this craving of content, I distanced myself from such providing. A lot of people have been waiting for me to make my return to these drips. But do you really appreciate what it is that I bring to your awareness? Do you truly appreciate what it is that I bring forth? Only time will tell, Shabbatai. Only time will tell. So this is not a game for natural. And I take my wave extremely serious. So we're going to go ahead and get into this example. Max Aha to the rare ones. Special shouts out to my Tuwab Paco. My good bro Paco still surfing the wave, man. Josh, what it do? Make sure y'all go hit the man up, man. J Nelson 432. J Nelson 432. We still got our Tawab Paco surfing the wave. Kicking different beneficial intelligence for those seeking it. Still keeping it grounded in our true indigenous vibes. I know it's been a while, my good Ock, but I'm still tapped in. I'm still surfing the wave. I see you. Make sure y'all go hit him up. J Nelson 432. Surf the wave. You know what I'm saying? Because we are live. Once again, Shabbatai. Let's get to it. Halahuwa. See this shit right here, nigga? This shit right here, nigga? This shit right here is the reason we do this. To spread Hawaii's Dabar far and near so that all may hear the good news. And when you see these good brothers awaken from that slumber, when you see these warriors awaken from such a slumber, when you see the Dracons finally rise up, oh, you can believe and bet your bottom dollar it's a charge. It's a charge to make it from such darkness and to witness those who once were in such darkness make it out the light, to see the light, to physically grasp it, to make themselves aware, and then to share such a light. This is the manifestation of the Ethiopian, Ka, the burnt face, the face of the ether. See, these niggas love to ignore the ether. I mean, for real, what the fuck is the burnt face if we're not talking about ether, man? Knock it off. Only a hijack is gonna see that melanin as something burnt. You know what they say, a Targaryen can't be burned by fire. You see what's going on. This is in no way a promotion toward this podcast. For such a platform is not my taste. Yet, when such content hits my desk, well, it is almost undeniably impossible for me not to surf a wave. And with that being said, we gonna tap in and see what's going on. A-Hob to the real ones.
Okay, so I'm curious about the hoodie that you're wearing because it's got the Star of David on this sleeve. I can't see what's on that sleeve, but the Truth Seekers logo. Okay, so how would you describe what this represents to you?
Everything, like this my organization. You know what I'm saying? Truth Seekers, Inner City Outreach. You know, it's spiritual, it's biblical. Not only that, you know what I'm saying, it's like I said, it's outreaches for the community, but this just my beliefs. You know, I'm Hebrew Israelite, so okay. You know, this all that with the tassels and the fringes, you know.
You heard what he said. You heard what he said. Huh? You heard what he said. And this is exactly what I mean. This is exactly what I mean. He came to this realization that he was an Israelite. As a so-called member, active member. This is Spoety Face. From out that Leimert Park area. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, this is the type of message we endorse for all of our good bros making it out that darkness. This is what we do this for. For cons and knockers like Spoety Face. Let's surf the wave.
Okay, so I'm curious about the hoodie that you're wearing because it's got the Star of David on this sleeve. I can't see what's on that sleeve, but the Truth Seekers logo. Okay, so how would you describe what this represents to you?
Everything, like this my organization. You know what I'm saying? Truth Seekers, Inner City Outreach. You know, it's spiritual, it's biblical. Not only that, you know what I'm saying, it's like I said, it's outreaches for the community, but this just my beliefs. You know, I'm Hebrew Israelite, so okay. You know, this all that with the tassels and the fringes, you know, and on the back it got, you know, the scripture, you know.
How long ago did you or when did you discover that and how'd you get turned on to it?
To be
You see the mind of a hijack? How did you figure this out? How did you come to such knowledge? I mean, what makes you wake up one day and think or want to convert to yourself being an Israelite? This is the kind of shit that's going to drive a hijack off the map. You see what's going on? This is what we've been waiting on. For these so-called gang members to finally wake up. Choose up to Anion, Halakha. This is what we talking about. This is what we're talking about. This is the restoration of HWH's promise, man. And look how unsettling it makes the hijack. Look at how puzzled his face is. He's really trying to figure out, like, bruh, what? What? For HWH said that they will remove the shame placed on you in every land and return to you, the chosen, the fame that was always meant for HWH's people. And this is the returning of such a vibration.
Honest, I came into the truth in 2018. I was in prison, and my best friend at the time, which ended up turning my rib, she started enlightening me on it, and then I started doing my research, is really reading the Bible, and then that's why I took it.
So see, from his aqua, who turned his rib, she placed the word upon his soul and planted the seed within this bro's mind frame. And it caught flame like a wildfire. You see what's going on? Femina, Sapiens. Like I said, man, the aquas be going hard. And you know my name. We some hardies. So it's only right when we align in such a vibe, in such a wave, we give credit where it's due. And this is, again, for the aqua. And also for the ox. Choosing us, seeing clearly, really on a Dracon vibe. This is the restoration. This is Zephaniah 3:9. HWH.
I took it on.
And does that change your life? Is that some
Rib, she started enlightening me on it, and then I started doing my research, is really reading the Bible, and then that's why I took it. I took it on.
and does that change your life? Is that something that is that necessary and inherent to your sense of wanting to make the community better? Like, do you think that you would have that mentality if it wasn't for your religious beliefs as well?
Two things. Yes, and no. So absolutely 1,000%.
You see how he's so puzzled? Is this necessary? Look at what's going on. Look at what's going on. Look at how puzzled he is. Is this necessary for you to be an active participant of your community, to do things right? Do you need to recognize that you're an Israelite? You see what's going on? Because as a so-called member, his expectation by the hijack is only to be deaf, dumb, and blind. Huh? But as the light begins to shine and emanate from within him, it presents a puzzling factor for the hijack. And now the hijack is interested in learning if this is crucial for our spiritual, soulful development. And you can bet your bottom dollar that it is. This is the final level to becoming the final boss. The recognition of who you are as the image of Hawa. Let go.
Yes, but also what made me want to change is that time I got, it broke my back. I want.
Okay, so I'm curious what.
So he says what made him change is the fact that he got hit in his back. You know what I'm saying? And you can go catch the rest of that, surf the wave if you like. But this is a message that we're here to promote and endorse. So big shout outs to Spoety Face, man. We over here at Natural Bahuwa, we approve this message. And we support the movement the good Ak has in play, as his intentions are to peacefully reform his community. And the good bro's been receiving a whole lot of slack, a whole lot of, you know what I'm saying, feedback. Niggas is mad. Oh, he's pushing peace. Oh, he's choosing this. He needs to do this. He needs to do that. You can always be a real one from your section and still have acknowledgement that you are the image of Hawa. For there is no higher recognition than such thing. And these niggas gonna keep getting their hair cracked until it's scrambled eggs. Until they make such a choice. Until they choose up. For real, for real. Because it's most high over everything, man. And we literally mean over everything. Hope that you've enjoyed this presentation. We are getting back to that drip. Max A-Ha to the real ones, to the rare ones. For everyone truly supporting the vibe, staying tapped in, I appreciate y'all. You guys definitely keep the Eat the Bus in motion. And with that being said, Shabbat, we will be returning real soon. Just wanted to part this with you and let it marinate on your mind one time. Hope all is well with your vibes. I hope the aquas are charged and my good ox stay anion, man. Till the next time, Shabbat. A-Ha.